Uh-oh. Is this thing on? Oh, hey. You're listening to the Hold On With Me podcast, and I'm your host, Riley Joe. Thanks for being here. Hello, my friends. Another day, another week, another day, another dollar. I hope something great is happening this week for you. Or maybe you're looking forward to the weekend. I sure am. I'm going to be honest with you. I truly never know how to start these podcasts because I want to come out of the gate swinging with sharing so many tips and insights with you. And I just kind of sprinkle them throughout the podcast episode. A little bit of there, a little bit of here, and that's just kind of how it goes. I hope that whatever I share can benefit your life and where you're at. So, welcome. Today, I'm thinking a lot about honesty and communication. I definitely think those two words go hand in hand. Because if we think about it, if I'm choosing to be honest with someone, that means I'm open and I'm working on communicating with that person what really I'm feeling in my heart, what's on my mind, and that can bring you closer. It is so healing on so many different levels to help you transform and to become better or to draw closer with another person if it was involved in conflict. I I nerd out about it. I nerd out about communication. Little things we can say, they make a big difference and they matter. And today I'm going to share some things that happened in my life within the last year that really led me on a path of the deep internal healing that I have been doing, yeah, since probably about last April. Or, yeah, we're getting closer to 2 years. But I had some people who were very, very honest with me. And at first, it was a little hard. I felt a little embarrassed that people saw me for what was really going on. And oh, Riley doesn't have it all figured out. She doesn't have it all together. When I want things to go smooth. I want people to see that I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm really giving it my all and trying. But in reality, that it's just not realistic. God gave us emotions and thoughts and feelings. He gave us anger and sadness and happiness and joy and confusion. He gave us all of these emotions that are so healthy to feel. But when it's all over the place, it's up and down, there's not consistency, and it's unbalanced, that's when it creates chaos for your life. And that's where I was at. So I'm going to take you back. Last week I shared I was living in Arizona. I moved away from my family, everything that I had always known. And there were so many amazing moments where I realized God's got my back and He knows exactly where I needed to be to have these experiences. So everything was going great. And I could tell He was really just in every single detail of my life. Now, it's almost contradictory because there were so many good things happening. My prayers were being answered. My heart is healing. My mind is just filled with just so much goodness being around people and having these experiences that I couldn't have even imagined because it was better than I ever thought. On the flip side, it was almost harder for me to accept the love I was receiving. Whether it was friendships, relationships, families I was surrounded by, it was hard for me to accept that. Am I deserving of love? Am I deserving of this kindness and people seeing me for who I am and appreciating the goodness that I do have to offer? So guess what it did? It made me more anxious. Funny how that works. Because then I didn't know what to do with it. I'm feeling all these feelings. I'm having all these emotions. I'm feeling sadness. And then I'm feeling happiness. I'm having the best night ever. And I drive home crying my eyes out because I'm like, why did I shut down? I was experiencing something so good and pure, and suddenly I didn't know what I was feeling, and I just kind of started to feel really, really numb. Things have been going great up until this point, and this is probably about close to hitting my year mark of living in Arizona when things started to just turn. They did a 180. And it was kind of slowly building up over time, little by little. There were things that I would do. I was so anxious and in my head that I would make choices based on what I was feeling. I wasn't really present in the moment. And then I would get frustrated. I'm showing up in a weird way. Why am I doing this? Why did I make that choice? Like a normal person would think it through, have common sense. I was making choices when I was anxious that led me to not making a decision where it felt like I was being who I really was. I felt so off. And anytime I would try to explain, then I would just shut down. And when somebody didn't know how to take that or how to react with what I was doing, with what I was saying, or when I was feeling very, very overstimulated and anxious, I would just say, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll figure it out. Because I didn't want to be a burden in other people's lives when I had so much emotion that was just constantly going on in my mind and in my body. And I started to be really quiet. I didn't know what to say when I was around these people who showed me love and kindness. It was like I had this mental block of how can I just show up and be myself? But I think deep down, it was healing so many things inside of me, but then I'm receiving this love and encouragement that I didn't know how to respond. How do I just not hug these people and tell them, like, you're changing my life because of the way you are being with me, and it's something so unfamiliar or something I thought I would never receive in my life. I couldn't put it into words. It was just what I felt. And this is going on for a while. Then towards the end of April, I was working with my life coach. She's amazing. And she was giving me tips and tools and resources to work through some deep things that kept coming up while I was living here. And it was necessary. I needed to work through it. And I didn't even know that it was a part of me. But I knew, okay, if someday I want to get married again and I want to have kids and a family, I've got to work through this trauma so that I can heal and have a life that feels more aligned and authentic to who I really want to be and who I want to become. I don't want to bring this into my future family's life. But as I started to heal, it was like I was peeling like an onion. Like it was one layer and then it was another layer and new things would pop up. Then I'd have to learn how to work through that. It was really exhausting. I was tired. I was stressed out. My body didn't feel good. My stomach was hurting all the time, and it's just up and down. Hormones are going crazy. And one day I sat on the ground in my bedroom and I thought, God, I can't live like this anymore. What's going on with me? Why can't I explain what I'm feeling? This healing process is so hard. Like I'm doing all the right things. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to journal, but it just seems like it's too much at one time. I'm juggling all these different situations. I have no consistency. And then I'm just going through the motions, feeling like a tornado in the wind. And I was on the phone with my brother this day, as I am just literally pleading out my heart to God, saying, I'm done. I'm done trying to heal. I just feel so embarrassed about what I'm doing with my life, and people are seeing me this way, and I want to show them who I really am at my core, but I've got this block, right? And I'm on the phone with my brother, and we've been talking on the phone for a while. He was listening to how I was sharing these emotions and not really knowing what was going on, still confused, feeling numb, just in this darkness. This chaos, it's all over the place. And my brother said, Riley, you can't keep living this way. You just can't. This isn't normal. This isn't how most people live their life. They don't feel these emotions like up and down all over the place. Now, deep down, I knew I needed to make changes, but maybe I was holding back. Or when I'd tell myself, I'm fine, I'll figure it out, I was almost telling myself, like, I will do it. It'll get better. But then I wouldn't do anything about it because as soon as I got out of the situation, I moved, I changed, directions. I almost kind of forgot about it until it would repeat the cycle and show back up again. But when my brother said those words to me, and he was so honest and sincere with me, I didn't feel like pushing back. I didn't try to say, well, you're just telling me what to do, like I maybe would have in the past. Or, well, you don't understand or you don't get it. It was actually like a confirmation to me that what I was feeling was real. It wasn't in my head. And it wasn't just, oh, this is who I am. This is just a part of me that's going to be like this forever. It was almost like I felt heard because he could see how chaotic my emotions were and my thoughts. And being from the outside, my brother, who isn't overly anxious, could see that that's not how most people can live. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable. And I respect my brother so much more because he was so straightforward and honest with me in that moment. And I needed to hear it. These things that I knew deep down, is it all in my head, or I feel like they're real things that's going on. I'm not faking it. I just don't know how to manage it. It was like a little hug, like a little sense of comfort that I see you, Riley. This is hard. This is going on. Let's make a change so that we can figure this out and life can be so much better for you. And I'm kind of now at this point, I'm out of that darkness. I'm on a high, like, okay, God, what do I need to do? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make some changes. Maybe I need to look into getting onto anxiety medication that I had avoided forever because I didn't want to be on anything. I just thought this is something that I can manage on my own and I'll be fine. It'll be okay. But it was almost too heavy for me that I really needed a balance somehow. Same day, after this conversation with my brother that night, I'm working, I'm helping catering, and the guy I was dating at the time, I kind of started to feel like emotions were off, and I didn't really know what was going on, and he just said, hey, can I talk to you later? Would like to have a conversation. So then, of course, the nervous anxieties, the butterflies, kind of sat with me. I definitely was more quiet probably that night because I wanted to know what was going to come. I knew I'd been off, and our relationship had started to feel off. And throughout this conversation, and we ended up having a few more after this, but he was super straightforward and honest with me about how he was feeling, how the relationship was affecting him, where he was at in his life, and yeah, it was extremely vulnerable. Now, this was really, really hard for me to accept because I was in a place where just earlier that day, I'm like, great, I've got this light brought out of me again, that I'm not broken, I can change this, I can get out of it. It doesn't have to feel this way forever, to now my relationship is ending where I did think it was going somewhere, for sure. Talk about a 180. A huge, huge flip that I really didn't see coming, but maybe I was so shut down and trying to heal that it was hard for me to really recognize any signs because I was working so much on myself. And it was interesting because I had been praying to God about an answer I needed. I remember telling him, like, this is what I want, this is what I'm hoping for, and this is how I feel. Please help me to know what to do. Guess what? The answer came, in completely the opposite of way, completely in a different way than I had asked for. Funny how that works. And I was devastated, heartbroken, feeling all my emotions even more heavy, frustrated, feeling like I'm this big failure who wasn't able to have this relationship and to keep it going. But then through time, I realized God just gave me all of this time to work completely on myself. 100% devotion to healing my mind, my body, my relationships, whether it's with my family or friends, and putting more time and energy and effort into them because I'd been in Arizona. I'd been away from them for a long time. So it was almost a bigger blessing. In that moment, I couldn't see it. But now looking back and where I'm at right now, that was the best thing that ever could have happened in my life so that I could progress and I could keep healing and not trying to juggle being in a relationship and healing and doing these things when sometimes getting out of that situation and taking time away to just focus on yourself is the biggest healer. God knows what we need. He absolutely does. And there are times when he gives us the answer that we do not want, and it's hard and it's devastating and we're heartbroken. I know, I get it, I see you, I hear you. But it can truly change our life, and it changes the trajectory if we lean into it. of, okay, what do I need to learn from this? What can I do? And guess what? The healing did not come immediately. It still hasn't. I mean, I'm a year and I don't know how many months after that moment, but I will tell you that I am not the same person I was a year or 2 years ago because of how much I've been able to put time and energy into working with somebody that's a professional and healing my mind and taking things that will help me balance out to be more relaxed, to live a more fulfilled, happy life where I feel my emotions. I'm true to who I want to be, and I'm still bringing that girl out, but it's happening. And if you're someone like me who is so shut down, maybe you feel numb right now, you don't know what to do, but you do feel like there is something more for your life and you don't know what it is, I invite you to ask somebody that you know and love and trust, that you would trust your life with. Ask them what they think. Maybe they would have a different option or an idea for you that's something you wouldn't have even thought about. If you're struggling with feelings and you're in a relationship, or you're struggling with a relationship with a family member or a friend, sometimes the best thing you can do is be so honest. Now, there are kind ways to be honest. Sharing what you're feeling and being vulnerable. And sometimes that's the biggest healing that can take place, is just by being honest, choosing to communicate and open up. Maybe ask them, what have they seen? What have they noticed? So you can understand more about yourself and then make changes from there. It truly goes hand in hand, and it can make a world of a difference. It changed my life for the good. Now, I'm not taking away from that it was really hard, and I still probably cried every day and was bitter and upset. But take it from a girl who gets it, who's been there, who's still on a journey of healing, but has felt the light and the relief and the comfort from making changes and choosing to do things differently and trying to lower that pride to become better and to do what it is that God wants you to do and taking that first step. I believe in you, and it will continue to get better. We never know what's going to happen or what's going to come for our lives, and maybe we're just in the thick of it, of the hardest season, and we're drained and we're exhausted. You can get out and do different things, and this can apply to anything in your life. It doesn't have to be a big drastic change where you move across the state. It could be within your own home, but we do have control with what we do, the conversations we have, and being honest and vulnerable with those around us. And I'm feeling so grateful today. A lot of my experiences have come because of honesty from people around me. I had a conversation last week with my cousin, and we were on the phone, we were chatting about some things, and I just said, I'm feeling like this is going on, and I've become comfortable with this, and this has happened. And after I said that, he was so honest again with me, and he said, Riley, I think you're right. I think you have become comfortable. And I think you're capable of doing so much more than what you're giving yourself right now. And my respect for him shot through the roof. And now I know, I can ask him to be honest and to give me advice. So instead of feeling like, oh, he's attacking me, he's telling me what to do, it's like, no, I feel that way. You have the power within you to make a change. You're not stuck. And honesty is the biggest healer, especially if you're honest with yourself, you're honest with others, and you're honest with God. Communicate those feelings to the best of your ability. And I really, really hope you know that God will unravel beautiful blessings and promises and opportunities and people into your life better than you can see right now. We got to keep going one day at a time. It's all going to work out. It will, and I promise that. Thanks for listening today. I'm so glad that you could be here and feeling the light and the happiness that comes as we make different choices for our lives and those changes that can truly transform who we are and how we feel about ourselves. I would not be speaking this way and talking to you right here, right now, if I hadn't gone through the hard and had those tough conversations, but it happened and now we're here. And I want to inspire you to do the same. Let's have a good day. Let's finish out the week. And just know God's on your side. It's you, me, God. We got this. Keep holding on with me.